Okay, wow, I didn't expect you guys to actually like my Forsaken concept. Well, since I'm still waiting for the next update, I figured why not make another one? This time, I want to create a female survivor who utilized grenades and flashbangs, items that were originally in the game before release but were scrapped for various reasons, which I don't really know. And of course, I don't want her to be overpowered or just be a better version of Chance, so drawbacks are definitely part of her design. And with that, let me introduce the concept I came up with. Callahan was part of a specialized military unit deployed in the desert to fend off the Bacon terrorists attacking Robloxia. Trained to follow orders without hesitation, she was a disciplined soldier, although fear always lurked beneath her hardened exterior. During an ambush, she was heavily wounded and left stranded deep within enemy territory. As the Bacon army closed in, panic took hold of her. Trembling hands, desperate and alone, she pulled a pin from one of her grenades, preparing to make her last stand, which just ended up doing the funny grenade punch from TF2. Now, based on her story, I want her to be a sentinel that uses grenades and flashbangs in order to stun and blind the killers, but with a drawback because I don't want to make her a better chance. So, let's get into her passive and stats first. Callahan has 85 health, 100 stamina, 25 run speed, 12 walk speed, 10 stamina loss per second, and 20 stamina gain per second. Now, as you can see, she is the weakest sentinel when it comes to health. I'm not including Chance because he can just, change his health with his abilities. So yeah, he is 1 point faster than other survivors because, let's be real here, I'm gonna make sure that her abilities only work and has the best efficiency when used at long range, and when it comes to close range, she is definitely the worst of the sentinels. So let's get to her passive, and this time she only has one. Explosive Unexpertise. Callahan's deep-seated fear of explosives makes her significantly more vulnerable to them. She takes 10% more damage from explosive type attacks, including her own grenades. This drawback forces her to use her explosives with caution, as a poorly timed grenade could backfire, making her an easy target.
I think his mate saw me.
The first active abilities for Callahan. Grenade. It has a 40-second cooldown. Callahan pulls the pin on a grenade and prepares to throw it in the direction she's looking. Players can hold the ability button to cook the grenade, allowing for precise timing. While aiming, Callahan trembles in fear, causing a slight screen shake. If the killer gets closer, the shakes becomes more intense, making it harder for her to aim. The grenade has a maximum range of 80 studs, with its trajectory slowing upon hitting the ground or a solid object. After 5 seconds, it explodes within a 3 stud radius, dealing 60 damage, knocking back affected killers by 50 studs, and stunning them for 5 seconds. I mean, this ability is pretty much straightforward. Callahan throws a grenade, she can cook it to time her explosions more precisely. But to balance the risk, the grenade has a 5-second detonation time. And while aiming, Callahan trembles, causing a slight screen shake that intensifies if the killer gets closer. This actually makes aiming more difficult at close range, so unlike Chance, you actually need to be in a slight further distance than normal if you want to stun. It's to preventing easy shots, that is. If she fails to throw the grenade in time, it detonates in her hand, dealing damage to herself. Additionally, the explosion does not affect our servers, because I don't think team killing is needed in this game, so yeah. And up next, we got Flashbang. It has a 3 seconds cooldown. Callahan throws a flashbang that travels up to 95 studs with a trajectory towards the location she's looking at. After hitting the ground, the flashbang detonates 2 seconds later, blinding any nearby killer within a 15 stun radius for 2 seconds. However, Callahan can also be blinded by the flashbang if she is within the blast radius. Now, the flashbang effect on killers is a blinded X, so the screen will just literally become black for 2 seconds. on any nearby killers within the blast radius, that is. This effect will not stack if multiple flashbangs are detonated at the same time, nor will it play again if a killer has already been affected by the debuff and 5 seconds have passed since the debuff was removed. This ability allows Callahan to throw a flashbang, serving as a powerful tool when used strategically like a grenade. The flashbang can also affect her, requiring careful aim to avoid blinding herself. However, unlike the grenade, it does not include a screen shake drawback since it isn't as inherently dangerous as the grenade. To keep the ability balanced, it emphasizes skillful positioning rather than being a low-risk blind. Interestingly, Forsaken already has a flashbang item. Though it isn't available in public games, it was originally to be one of Guest 37's abilities, but was later changed. And also, side note, the flashbang and grenade can bounce off killers. And yeah, she only has 2 abilities. Now, keep in mind, she is really a high risk, high reward Sentinel, because like, I'm not gonna lie to you, a blindness X for 2 seconds is like already enough for you to get away from the killers and get away from them and follow up with another stun from your chance or let's see or gas. And yeah, I don't really want her to have any more abilities because these 2 abilities are already pretty strong if used correctly. Now, yes, the grenade sounds kinda buns, but let me tell you, knockback and stun is literally disgusting. It's literally disgusting, dude. So yeah, I don't really want to give her another abilities because that is too overpowered. And yeah, with it out of the way, let's go to her role and playstyle.
Don't cry, little Silk Song fan. Teen Cherry's got enough of a... We got...
Callahan is designed as a backline sentinel, utilizing her high speed and explosive abilities to support her team. She excels at disrupting killers with her grenades and flashbangs. However, with 85 health, she is vulnerable and must be cautious of her positioning and ability usage, especially with self-damage risk from her grenades. Her explosive unexpertise passive is a very punishing passive if she fails to throw the grenade after 5 seconds or just within a explosion radius or fighting against Nolly, because goddamn, he actually has a grenade. You can see actually have explosive abilities. So yeah, she's actually a very tactical support with a high risk, high reward playstyle. And now we have counterplay against her for the killers. Now, if you actually pay attention, out of all Sentinels, Callahan is the easiest to kill first due to her reliance on long range abilities that gets a lot riskier when used up close. So the first way you can counter her is by baiting her abilities. Her flashbang and grenade have a delay before detonation. Baiting her into using them early or dodging at the right moment can minimize their impact. Next, we got forcing her to make mistakes. If Callahan holds onto her grenade for too long, she risks exploding in her hand. Trashing her while she has it cooked can force her into a bad situation. And lastly, we got rushing her down. Now, because Callahan lacks strong self-defense when caught off guard, and she is very bad at close-range defenses, she is dealt with early before she can use her utilities to support her team. So, targeting her in the first round is actually a viable and a very suggested idea for a strategy, because you don't want her to disrupt a chase with her grenades and a flashbang.
I am the ultimate overlord, Metal Sonic.
Callahan's design is based on a soldier from a military unit operating in a desert. Her cowardly nature is a direct contrast to Guest 1337, who served as an inspiration for her design. While Guest 1337 is a strong and fearless soldier who can take on killers head-on with just his fists, Callahan is the opposite, timid and fearful, yet still determined to help in her own way from the backlines. Her hat signifies that she was originally a scout, suggesting she was meant to be on the front lines. However, her personality and tactics makes it clear that she was never suited for direct combat, reinforcing the idea that she fights best from a distance rather than up close. Callahan's grenade ability further emphasizes her deep fear of harm. Unlike other soldiers who might throw explosives with confidence, she trembles while aiming, causing slight screen shake. This detail highlights her anxiety and hesitation in combat. Despite her fear, she still pushes herself to fight in her own way, keeping her distance and relying on explosives rather than direct confrontations. Her cautious nature also explains why she takes 10 more damage from explosions, reinforcing her vulnerability and fear-driven approach to survival. So just like my first survivor concept video, I also came up with some interactions with fellow survivors. And so, here it is. And yeah, I think that's all for today's concept. And sorry if it's a bit not interesting, but I was really in a hurry and I was actually very busy, and I can really think of something interesting to make her a lot more unique, if I would say. So yeah, I'm so sorry if the concept today doesn't really match as the yesterday's concept, but yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye bye.